Brian stated earlier, I'm an entrepreneur. I've been doing this, well, roughly about 5-6 years now. And I think this all starts about in 2005. In 2005, I read a book that actually encouraged me to become an entrepreneur. That book was Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. Now, here's the thing. I spent so much time being a cop, I had no idea what I was going to do. I had no idea what kind of business I was going to get into. I spent 5 years trying to become a cop, and then by that time I was a cop for 5 more years. I had no idea what I was going to do. But I took the lessons that I learned in this book, and I encouraged my wife to take her hobby of taking pictures and turn that into a photography business. Yes, this is my wife. I am a happily lucky married man. Okay? I figured, though, if I could get this woman, to listen to me and produce results, I can pretty much inspire and motivate the world. So the bar was set high, I jumped over it, I'm good. All right? She in turn created Personal Touch Photography, which is her business. She loves families, and she hates weddings now, but she loves families and kids. But she does an excellent job all the way around. I mean, I've seen some of her pictures where they had the wedding and the reception in a room this size, and she makes it look like it's the Taj Mahal. You know, it's beautiful work that she does. So yeah, you can write down her. See, I'm branding and I'm marketing for her. You know, if you need me to write that down for you later, I will. Don't worry about it. See? But inspiring her to start her own business, and having grown up listening to Les Brown and reading Tony Robbins and Brian Tracy and Zig Ziglar, like I said, if I can inspire and motivate her, my harshest critic next to myself, can nobody stand in my way. So that's when I created HRJR Enterprises. Now, HRJR Enterprises is a business and life coaching consultation firm. And what I do, what my staff does, we encourage people to achieve massive success by way of facing, fighting, and freeing themselves from their fears and their flaws. HRJR Enterprises was founded on 3 fundamental principles. 1, nothing in life worth having comes easy. If it did, you wouldn't appreciate it. So if you have a particular dream or goal that you want to achieve or accomplish, I'm telling you now to anticipate struggle along the way. Anticipate having to sacrifice along the way. 2, you can have, do, and become just about anything you want in this world, provided you're willing to put forth the work necessary in order to achieve it. I live by this. And 3, you will always know, please know, you will always encounter dream killers and bubble busters while on your journey. Your job, if you so choose to accept it, is to convert their worthless BS into the fuel you need to fertilize your goals and manifest your dreams into reality. So my only goal here today is to share with you some ideas that have worked for myself and others, and afford you the opportunity to incorporate these ideas into your lives. Now, what I want you guys to do is imagine yourselves at the store shopping for clothes. And just like when you're shopping for clothes, not everything there is for you. So as you sit here and listen to me, not everything I say might be for you. But take whatever fits and feel free to discard the rest. You won't be hurting my feelings, okay? Now, having said that, I'm here to talk to you about becoming successful. Now, there are people who believe that success is having the bills paid. There are people who will believe that reaching a certain level on their job, getting that supervisor position. In my own profession, being promoted to sergeant, then lieutenant, then captain, then deputy chief, then chief. You know, all kinds of things, all right? Exactly. And some people believe that reaching a level of success has to do with acquiring certain status symbols such as cars, clothes, and jewelry. I say this: the first step to becoming successful, however, is taking accountability for your flaws as well as your successes. People love to take all the credit and shine when things done went good. But sometimes things don't always go as planned. You have to be willing to take accountability for that as well. So I always say the people who achieve whatever they deem to be their level of success, they see their journey as navigating a minefield. And their goals are on the other side of that minefield. But they realize, knowing that they're going to be traps, knowing that they're going to be pitfalls, they have to navigate around them. What I'd like to do this evening is share with you 3 tools that I believe will better help you navigate around them. Those tools are purpose, preparation, and perseverance. So, let's talk about the first one, purpose. It was Friedrich Nietzsche who said, "He who has a why can endure any how." One of the main reasons I believe that people tend to fall off or fail or not achieve the things that they believe they're destined to achieve is that their focus is off. They're so busy concentrating and wondering how they're going to do something that they have no idea why they're doing it, and because the answers aren't coming readily enough to their satisfaction, they quit too soon. Raise your hand if you know somebody like that, please. Everybody has to know somebody like that. Now, let me ask you a question. What is the one question that you, how many of you have children? Okay. But everybody in this room been a child at some point in time. So, whether you've had children or been a child, I know this answer has got to be right. What is the one question you either asked your parents or your children have asked you that have guaranteed the answer, because I said so? Why? Why? Why I gotta brush my teeth? Why I gotta clean my room? Why I gotta take out the garbage? Well, before we get to the before I said so, my father would be like, because you don't pay no bills, because you don't pay no bills, because you don't pay no bills. If it had to get before I buy, thank you. if it had to get to because I said so, there was a hand coming with it. But no, I believe that when you know why you're doing something, this is why kids ask that question, why? Because when you know why you're doing something, it's easier to do. It's easier to do because it makes sense. Somebody tell you why you have to do something that doesn't make sense, it's going to be difficult for you to do. But if you know why, it's just a little easier to do. Your mind starts coming up with answers in different ways in which you can solve your situation or your problem. I want everyone right now to repeat after me. Define your purpose. I can't hear you. Define your purpose.
Define your purpose.
Thank you. Go back to asking why. Go back to asking why. You see, success doesn't come from having all the right answers. Success comes from asking the right questions. All right? Without questions, there are no answers. And you can ask all the questions, all you want, to all different kinds of people in the world. But the number one person you need to ask a question to in order to improve your life, achieve your goals and your dreams, is yourself. You need to have that conversation with yourself. Ask yourself, why do I want to become this thing? Why do I want to have this thing? And keep in mind, at this early stage in the process, it's not about how do I. When you ask yourself, how does having or becoming this thing improve my life? What you're asking is, how is it that, what value does this thing bring to my life? And when you do that, you're determining and defining your purpose. Once you've determined and defined your purpose, you're ready to move on to the next step in the game, which is preparation. Now, 20 years ago, I learned a lesson of preparation that it continues to pay off to this very day, every single time I use it. That lesson, bless you. Thank you. That lesson is called the 7 P's. 7 P's stand for proper pre-planning prevents piss-poor performance. Now, by a show of hands, how many people in this room have pledged a fraternity or sorority when they were in college? Was that a hand raised or you just scratching? No, okay. All right, for those of you that have pledged when you were in college, for those of you who may have seen movies and you think you have an idea of what pledging is and you may not be too far off depending on the organization, let's just say that during that process, I had a wide variety of tasks and assignments that I had to accomplish. Knowing what was expected of me, I would do what was expected of me, but then I would anticipate what's coming the next day and do my best to achieve that as well. Better put, everybody been in school, so let's say you had a homework assignment, you had to read a chapter. I would read that chapter and then read the next chapter in preparation for whatever's going to come the next day. So when everything was just new and bugging everybody out in class, I would have more or less a calm demeanor about it because the information is not brand new to me because I prepared myself for it the next day. Now, I meant to represent for the organization. I was pledging Groove Social Fellowship Incorporated. Because the brother's going to see the video, so the brother's got to know that I was representing the brothers. When you go about setting goals and striving to be more than what you are, you have to know what you're getting yourself into. If you know where you want to go, you're going to have to know exactly who and where you are before you can take that first step. So I say, when preparing yourself for your greatness, you might have to create some contingency plans. There are people that believe that I don't need a plan B because I put all my faith in plan A. And you know what? If that works for them, if that works for any of you, God bless you. But just remember one thing. Not everything works the same way for everybody. So me personally, I love having as many options available as possible. If something goes wrong, I'm going to slip into second or third gear and I'm going to be happy. So that's just something to consider as well. The quote I wanted to share with you was from Whitney M. Young. It's better to be prepared for an opportunity and not have one than to have an opportunity and not be prepared. All right? So this leads us to the next tool that I wanted to share with you, perseverance. Now, there's an old saying that goes, if you want to hear God laugh, tell him what you've got planned. I'm living proof of that. I am. There's another saying that goes, the best plans of mice and men often go awry. And yet a third saying that goes, God may not come when you call him, but he's always on time. True and lasting success doesn't always come when you want it to. It comes when it's supposed to. The gentleman before me was talking about the law of attraction. And I'm an avid believer in the law of attraction. I just have one problem with the law of attraction because as you saw, he had the three steps there, you know, the ask, the believe, and the receive. I have a problem with that because I can ask for what I want. I can identify what I want. I can believe what it is that I want is meant to be mine. But there's a missing ingredient between believing and receiving. That missing ingredient is work. That missing ingredient is perseverance. It's really just that simple. I look at it like this. When we're facing obstacles, we're on the gun, and we gotta do what we gotta do, and times are hard. Kids are acting like they don't have any sense. Bill collectors is calling, and you answering the phone saying that you're not home and you know it's you. Okay? All kinds of nonsense. These are the things that we must deal with on our journey. These are God's obstacles. This is God's way of testing us. You must prove yourself worthy. You must. That's the gentleman in the presentation before me said the universal laws are absolute. That's one of them. You must prove yourself worthy. There are people who take all kinds of shortcuts. And trust me when I tell you, if you think you've achieved success by taking shortcuts, it's only a fraction of what you'd be really entitled to had you just gone the full route, gone out for the long haul, and overcome those obstacles along the way. See, people have a problem. I believe people have a problem that they think that just because they want something, they're automatically entitled to have it. The world doesn't work that way. You have to prove yourself worthy. See, the thing is, now,
still paying my dues.
That's life. Can't get out of it alive, so you might as well enjoy the ride. Just that simple.
Bada boom, bada bing.
There you go. that people think things are supposed to take a certain amount of time. You might not make it out of college in 4 years. I overheard this woman say she was here 10 years ago. God bless you for being here now. That's all that matters. People are surprised to hear that I do not possess a college degree. I went to Rutgers. Now, if they want to assume I got a degree from Rutgers, that's on there. I went to Rutgers. Oh, you don't have a college degree? No, but you said you went to Rutgers. Yeah, I went to Rutgers. I got the transcript. I can show you I went to Rutgers. Sometimes, thank you. You know, but sometimes things happen. I decided I didn't want to be at Rutgers anymore. Joined the Air Force. As a matter of fact, that was the easiest conversation I ever had with my father. You want to know why? Because I sat him down and I said, Dad, I'm not going back to school next month. What? I'm not going back to school because I'm tired of wasting my time and your money. When I said that, had him in the pocket. Just that simple, had him in the pocket. But what I want to do, and we're going to wrap up soon, what I want to do is I want to share with you a couple examples of perseverance. We all know who this man is, James Earl Jones.
Yes.
James Earl Jones began acting in 1953. He didn't receive his first movie role until 1964. We all know who this man is, Denzel Washington. Denzel Washington began acting in 1976, made his professional debut in 1977. Didn't get his first movie role until 1981. Got his first Oscar nomination in 1987, but didn't win his first Oscar until 1989. Lastly, Bob Johnson. Now, however you may feel about BET now, and trust me, I probably feel the same way.
So BET.
When he created BET in 2000, when he created BET in 1980, in January of 1980, BET only broadcasted for 2 hours a week back in 1980 when he first started it. 23 years later, in 2003, he sold it to Viacom for $3 billion.
$3 billion.
With a B, making him one of America's first African-American billionaires. So you can't just say, I'm going to be X, Y, Z, and expect it, poof, to happen just because you wanted to, when you wanted to. You're going to have to pay your dues, as the gentleman said. You're going to have to wait your turn. And God's the one, and the universe is the one keeping count. So you can get mad all you want. Who you going to complain to? So I also say that the playgrounds, nightclubs, street corners, all of these places are filled with people who had big dreams for little perseverance, which is why they still stuck on the playground, the nightclubs, and the street corners. So what I want you to do, because I want to make sure we drive this home, repeat after me. Purpose.
Purpose.
Preparation.
Preparation.
Perseverance.
Perseverance.
With purpose, you know why you're moving forward. With preparation, you begin to realize and see what you're getting yourself into before you move forward. And with perseverance, you let nothing and no one stand in your way when you decide and begin moving forward. As a matter of fact, shake somebody's hand next to you and say, I ain't gonna let nobody stand in my way. Except Kimmy, she got the camera. Shake somebody's hand. I ain't gonna let nobody stand in my way. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, I stand before you today because I am living my purpose. When God decided to shuffle the cards in my life, because I knew what it was I wanted to do, I was prepared to live my life beyond law enforcement. I did not expect to retire from law enforcement 15 years ahead of schedule. You got a retired officer in the audience, so he knows. So I know you know where I'm coming from. Okay? But because I was prepared, I was able to make that adjustment a whole lot easier. And in terms of perseverance, the fight that I had to fight in order to get my pension, trust me when I tell you, that first cardinal rule, that first fundamental belief, nothing in life worth having comes easy. I went from May of last year to November with no paycheck. No money coming in. Fortunately, I saved. I had some family helping me. Okay? But in fighting that fight, I had to keep the faith. I had to keep the faith. I had my purpose. I was prepared. My purpose was to retire. I was prepared. I had some money saved up. But then when the snakes in the grass started doing what they do, remember that third cardinal rule, the bubble busters and dream killers. When the snakes in the grass start doing what they do, you have to persevere. You have to be strong enough to maintain your balance. Keep your frequency right, as the other brother was talking about before. All right? So I'm about to wrap up, but before I do, I want to try a little exercise. And I need everybody's help with this. All right? I need everybody's participation with this, except Kenny, because she got the camera. Okay? Everybody in the room, close your eyes. I can see you if you're not. So. All right. Imagine yourself walking down a long path. Now, imagine there's a dark shadow walking right by your side. That shadow is your fear. The more attention you pay to it, the bigger it gets. Eventually, it gets so big that it gets in front of you and stops you dead in your tracks. But time passes by. People pass you by. You get settled in whatever you decide to do, wherever it was that you stopped. Some more time passes. You realize you're not afraid anymore. And you decide that you want to start walking again. The only problem is 10, 15 years done passed you by. You can't turn back the hands of time. Now open your eyes. I have a question. Is that the kind of life you want for yourselves? No, I can't hear you. No? 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 Give me a no like you mean no. No. Because your life depends on that no. No. So give me that no. No. Okay. I like that. Close your eyes again. Imagine yourself walking down that long path. Now imagine this dark shadow walking right by your side. That shadow was your fear. At some time while you're walking, you notice its presence. The more attention you give it, the bigger it gets. However, this time, you pay more attention to what's in front of you and where you're going than that shadow walking along your side. This time, the less attention you pay that shadow, the smaller and slower it gets. Eventually, it's walking behind you. Then sometime later, it's actually gone. Sometime later, you actually get to where you're going. You've reached the level of success that you were thinking about, that you were dreaming for, that you were walking towards. But guess what? After all of the celebration is done, another challenge is on the horizon. You start walking down that path again. I did say this was a long path, didn't I? And that shadow is right by your side. Yet again. Ladies and gentlemen, open your eyes. I have one question to ask you. Being that you know the options over here by paying it attention, the options over here by ignoring it, my question is, which do you want? Failure or success?
Success.
I can't hear you.
Success.
I can't hear you.
Success.
Say it like you mean it.
Success.
Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you, and I want you to keep this one thing in mind. You see here it says, make the impossible possible. I believe that the impossible is only impossible because you have yet to step up to make it possible. I believe that God puts you in the majority. And if you have God behind you, can nobody stand in front of you? Thank you.